Yo, what is up, SoresanCrockxen clan members, Poke fans, and others who stumbled upon this video? My hair is messed up. I'm sorry about that. So I'm actually recording X and Y early again. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so today's episode was the Delphox episode. I was really looking forward to this because, like I said in the previous review, Fennekin was my starter, in X and Y. So I was like, yeah, Delphox. Um, but anyway, so the gang, we start off, we're in the forest and we're gonna go camping. Yeah. Um, and Serena actually didn't bring any camping gear because she didn't think she was ever gonna sleep in just the wild. Um, yeah, she didn't bring it. Her mom did advise her to bring something. She just said, So, luckily, Clemont did have an extra sleeping bag, and so she was able to sleep in Bonnie's tent. Um, we did get to see, cause remember how I was wondering, like, we didn't have a chef, really, because Clement's an inventor, Bonnie's just a little girl, and Serena, we didn't know what the freak she's doing, and Ash has never cooked in his life. So it was really weird, confused, like who the heck made food? So apparently Clement is the cook, and Serena does like the dessert. I guess that's how it works. Um, and then Clement made the meal, and then like he pulls it off saying, "Oh, well, cooking is kind of like inventing. You gotta bring out a couple of supplies, and you gotta make a plan." And then you execute the plan with said ingredients. And there's food! So I did like that. I did like the fact that he did put his inventing knowledge into actually cooking food. So I thought that was nice. And then Serena, of course, she made the macarons things. But unfortunately, Chespin is fatty, and he ate them all. And he literally looked like he was fat. Um, and in order to get rid of this excess weight, they decided to have a battle. So it was Chespin versus Froakie. Chespin lost really bad, even though he had the advantage. And then it was the Dene versus. I like that. Bonnie, look at that. Look at that. Even Bonnie is doing more than Serena now. What the heck, man? Like, it was actually. I mean, even though Bonnie really didn't do, like, commands and stuff, because she's not a trainer yet, but it was her and the Dene versus Clement and Chespin. So technically speaking, she was in her first battle and she was like a little kid. Serena hasn't done jack. Just saying. But so Chespin, again, because he's full and he's a little fat now, he couldn't really do anything. So the Dene won. And so while the guy, like Ash was sleeping already, and then Serena was playing the Bonnie in the tent, Clement was again inventing something to help Chespin lose weight. It was an exercise. It was one of those treadmills. But it had these things that it was like a suit, and then it had like cables connected to the suit, and you would run. These things it was tied to the machine, so it'd be like restraining you, meaning you had to work more to move in the treadmill. Unfortunately, Chespin gets the smell of food, and he just walks up and gets out of there without Clement noticing. And Clement decides to test the machine. What as usual, it blew up. So blew up, and the gang comes outside. Chespin's gone. Everybody has to search for him now. I don't know how the heck, like, it was like, I guess, I don't know if it was like the late night, because when they started searching, the sun was already rising. So I don't know what the heck was going on there. What kind of shenanigans is that? Chespin finds a house, and he's like, passes out in the house and everything. And there's this old lady there. And she feeds him more macarons, making him even fatter. Um, and then gang's looking for them, and Clement, like they all split up, and Clement actually finds Chespin, but because Chespin is over there enjoying the macarons with the lady, with the old lady, and like he's just smiling, Clement feels bad, and he says, I guess because he was concerned because he felt bad that Chespin might have left him. Like it was this whole ordeal. I was like, damn. And like Clement actually leaves because he feels like Chespin will be happier with the old lady than with him. But he just flat out leaves. And then when the gang meets up again, Serena's like, I didn't find them, and Ronnie's like, I didn't find them, and Ash is like, ugh, this is what I hate about mornings. Uh, Bonnie finds him, or Bonnie says she didn't find him, and Ash says she didn't find him. And Clement shows up. Did you find him? Yes. And they're like, well, where is he? It's like, well, I left him where he was. I'm like, why? Well, I found him with this old lady, and he looked like he was happy, generally happy. So I figured, he didn't want to be with me anymore, and so I just left him there. And I was like, this sucks. I was like, no, why? Um, so it was very upsetting. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure they've done this before. Yeah, like I think the Ash and Pikachu episode was kind of like that, except it wasn't really like that. Anyways, um, they usually do this type of thing at some point, but usually the Pokemon leaves. So I was a little like, no. But anyway, so the old lady's husband shows up, and he won a tournament, and then the old lady says she wants to battle him, and it was gonna be Chespin versus this old man's Pokemon, which happens to be Delphox, and I'm like, yeah. Um, so it's gonna be a fight between the old man with the Delphox versus the old lady with Chespin. And again, Chespin's fat. He can't do anything right now. He's very sluggish and stuff. So we actually get to see how the whole stick thing works out. The old man says to use Willis, and literally I don't know, Delphox like moves his arm forward and then pulls the stick out of its fur, and then waves like a magician, and he's just like waving it, and then does the will-o-wisp, and then there's a huge explosion, and the gang sees it. They're like, and then Clement's like, oh my gosh, that's where the house was, and he shouts Chespin's name and runs, because he's concerned. This is his Pokemon. He should be concerned, and then the gang runs after him, and then they get there and they're seeing Chespin being attacked by the flying will-o-wisps, I guess. And then they're like, aren't we gonna stop this? And again, Clement feeling bad, saying Chespin doesn't want to be his Pokemon anymore. But then the old man's like, use flamethrower, and Delphox again, like a magician, just goes, and then Clement Ash actually asked Pikachu to do it, and Clement just dashes in there with the Clemont gear thing, and then the Apom, I think it was the Apom arm, blocks the flamethrower, and then he's like, stop Delphox, stop the flamethrower, and then this whole explanation stuff, and then Clement takes the place of the old lady, as sorry. Because the whole ordeal was the old lady wanted the old man to apologize, and the old man wanted her to apologize, or yeah. So Clement decides to take the place of the old lady, and then during the fight, he actually comes up with this cool little strategy thing, because again, Chespin was sluggish. He couldn't do anything. So what he did was that because he was so big, he kind of had a round shape, meaning that when Delphox attacked, instead of running, he had him roll. That way, because of the round shape, it would be easier to move. And after a certain period of time, Chespin, for some the magic of rolling around. Apparently, that's the that's the secret, because he got thin, just flat out his old shape, And I'm like, well, I just found out the secret of losing weight in a very fast period. So I'm just kidding. But that was hilarious. Anyways, so then it actually becomes like a somewhat legit fight because it's still a really small starter versus a fully evolved starter. And like Delphox like not taking hits from Chespin and actually wrecking Chespin. And then we see Overgrow, and then Clement's like, it's Overgrow, and then he's like, Vine Whip, and actually it does something to Delphox, because now it's Stab Overgrow, and then like Delphox is like, ah, and then the old man gets all hyped up. He's like, okay, looks like I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to. And I'm like, what the heck? And the old man's like, no, you can't do that. If you do that, a bad stuff will happen. And I'm like, what the frig is going on? What, does this Delphox have explosion or something? And everybody's like, what the heck are you talking about? Oh my! And then Ash is like, it must be a move that hurts the Pokemon. And I'm like, Delphox doesn't know Flare Blitz. What kind of... I don't know. I was confused. And then he's like, and the old man like goes all the way back and he's like, Delphox, use mystical. I'm like, mystical fire. And apparently the problem was that the old man would get hurt and actually like hurt his back. And then like the battle was done. And I'm like, what? That was weird. Like I like that ending a little more because like I said, Fennekin was my starter. I like Delphox. And it would have been kind of weird to see a baby Chespin that's not even Ash's, but because Ash pulls some bull whenever he's like battling with an unevolved Pokemon towards an evolved Pokemon. We all seen this before, but it's not Ash, it's Clemont. It's usually the side characters don't have that oh gosh, the word slipped out of my head. But you guys know what I mean. They don't usually have that where they can win against an evolved Pokemon with an unevolved Pokemon. So I was happy with that ending. Then the old man was actually nice. He bought his wife a cake, and then they all decided to eat the cake together, and yay! And then they left. And Serena's now more excited about camping because of the fun she had with Bonnie. So yay! We got some stuff. This episode was so weird. I'm not even gonna lie. But I really did enjoy it though. I'm really looking. X and Y is just fun. It's just fun. So yeah, that's it for this review. The next episode, I believe, is the Pichu to Dene episode. So it's another. Look at that. Bonnie gets 3. I mean, technically, last episode. This episode was a Clemont one. I like that. But Serena again getting left behind. But it looks like, I mean, this one appears to be another Bonnie episode. We just had one last week. So we're getting more development for Bonnie, who's not even a trainer, than we get for Serena. I think that's sad in a sense, but whatever. We're moving on with the world. Anyways, guys, this has been SoresanCrockxen. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, episode links are in the description, like always. Don't forget to check out my Twitch channel, because I'm not today, but next Saturday I will be live streaming. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Also, before I forget, I'm going to be doing a fairy tale review later today, so look forward to that. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. This has been SoresanCrockxen, and I'll see you guys next time.